So we'll start with التدريب الثامن, the eighth exercise. أكمل كالمثال. Complete as in the example. المثال, what he's saying is نحن الآن, we're now في الخامس, خامس عشر, that means 15th من شهر رمضان. So that means we're the 15th of the month of Ramadan. Now, what they want us to do is, it says, منذ متى بدأ المسلمون الصيام? Since when Muslims started fasting? We talked about mundu. Most of the time, mundu will be since, but in a context, mundu can come as ago. How many days ago, right? So they will give you two word mundu and like yom here. Then you say mundu أربعة عشر يوما. So what you're doing is that it's kind of like math. If this is the 15th of Ramadan, then how many days you started? So it's 14 days ago, since 14 days, right? Remember these numbers, al-adad al-murakkab, like the number from 11 to 19th, they are mabni. So that means their haraka does not change regardless of the situation. So what we need to do is they're mabni with fath. So we have to put a fatha here. Okay, it's always going to be fatha. So you say منذ أربعة عشر يوما. And the gender of this will be same as this one, but the opposite of that, the gender. The next one is mundu, then I said usbu' weeks, so you have to find the distance, the difference in terms of weeks. So it says mundu usbu'ain. Okay, so that was an example. There are quite a few of them. I think honestly we'll just do maybe one. So we have أغلق المهد. أغلق, what is أغلق? أغلق, it means to close. فتح, opposite of فتح. أغلق المهد, the institution closed. باب قبول الطلبات. So the mahad closed the door of qubul. Qubul is accepting or acceptance. الطلب, الطلبات is the plural of الطلب, a request. So the mahad closed the door of accepting request, meaning request to enter, admit to the mahad institution. في أول شهر محرم, in the first of the day of the month of Muharram. نحن الآن, we're now في شهر ربيع الأول. So now we're in the month of Rabiul Awal. So it's going to ask the similar question. So mundu and shahar. If the door was closed on the first of Muharram, and if we are in the month of Rabiul Awal, how many months has passed? Since how many months? You understand? You have to know, of course, your month. You have to know your months of the Arabic calendar. So what comes after Muharram? After Muharram is what? Safar. Then you have Rabiul Awal. So how many months? So it's going to be 2 months, right? So you say منذ شهرين. منذ شهرين. So in terms of weeks, what are you going to say? How many weeks? So 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, so you can say ثمانية منذ ثمانية أسابع. أسابع. Since 8 weeks. It's going to be 60 days. Okay, so you can say منذ what? How do you say 60? These are called alfad al-wuqud, the number 20, 30, 40, 50, 60s. These are very easy numbers. Easy because, again, there's no gender. So for the masculine, feminine, it's the same thing. So it's a sittin, sittina, yawman. And just a quick note, the default of the ma'adud, the one, for example, what is adad and ma'adud? Basically, it's very simple. The adad is the number that you were saying, for example, here uh, here ثمانية or ستون here. These are عدد, and the معدود is the one that you are describing with the number. So he will be أسبوع سبع, and he will be يوم. So what we'll do is from here we'll probably skip. Maybe I'll just read few of them and we'll not complete them. It says نحن الآن في التاسع عشر من ذي الحج، وكان محمد قد سافر إلى بلده في الخامس من هذا الشهر. So we're in the 19th of the Dhul Hijj, and the Muhammad قد سافر. We talked about قد. Muhammad traveled إلى بلده, in his country, but with the قد they get a sense of uh, uh, an emphasis. في الخامس من هذا الشهر, in the fifth from this month. And then of course he will be asking those questions. Now I will skip them. So it says نحن الآن في عام. Remember we said the عام is the مرادف of what? There was a question. عام is مرادف of سنة. فهمتم? So نحن الآن في عام. Okay, so this is the number. Numbers are hard. So when you read numbers, which is like more than 3 digits or something like that, like big numbers like that, you have a few options how you read it. You can read this way, or you can read this way. So if you were to read from this side, you would say تسع. By the way, this would be all مضاف إليه or مجرور because of the context. So you say تسعة وعشرين. So basically you say separately تسعة and then you need the عشرين. It's عشرون, but عشرين in here. Okay, then you say the 100. So this would be أربعمية. أربعمية. Okay, أربعمية وألف. ألف is 1,000. This ha represents Hijri. If you write this ha, you don't have to write min al Hijri, it's understood. Okay, and you can also read it the other way. You can say Alf wa arba'miya wa. Now, of course, you cannot read two first because this is a compound, so you have to read it with its own rule. Even if you're reading this way, you cannot read the 9 before, you cannot read the 2 before 9 because these are different types of number. So you start from Alf wa arba'miya wa tisa wa ishrin. So I'll leave the rest to you. I don't see any complication. It's just that you have to kind of do your math and practice with numbers. The last chapter is surely pushing a lot with the numbers. So you have to get them as fast as possible. جيد. So we have next تدريب. We have التدريب التاسع, the 9th exercise. So now we have اسم الموصول. Okay, so also in this book has spent tons of time with اسم الموصول. Okay, so we have the final exercise on it, and it gives us الذي, التي, اللذان, اللتان, الذين, and then we have man and ma. So I mentioned to you that these are the اسم الموصول al-khas. Khas means specific. So it's specific to different pronouns. Right, so we have alladhi, for example, is for singular masculine, allati is for the singular feminine, and hakadha, right? And we also talked about which is musharak. They are shared, the man and ma. It doesn't matter whether singular, plural, masculine, feminine, it doesn't matter. You can use these two. The only difference is the man is for aqil, like human beings, and ma is for ghair aqil, like objects and everything. Okay, so we've talked about this plenty of time. There's no need to go back. So let us just do these exercises. It says ضع اسم الموصول المناسب. Okay, put munasib is appropriate. Appropriate اسم الموصول. So what I'll do is I'll just put number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can tell me which one you want to put here. And from here, I'll just put alif and ba, or A or B. So for all of them, we'll choose one from here and one from here. So number 1 is says حضرت الموظفة Then we have a blank. تعمل في قسم الطالبات. So حضر, it means to attend. الموظفة, موظفة is employee, female employee. Uh, and then it says تعمل في قسم الطالبات. Remember تعمل it for a you, singular, masculine, second person. It can also be singular, feminine, third person. Right? So I think you know that. So tell me, what number do you want to put here? What ismul mawsul do you want from? Mhm. For this one, it's a feminine singular, so we'll put allati. Okay, we'll put allati. Number two. So the employee attended who works in the department of the female students. Easy, that should be very easy. Ismul mawsul, guys, if you're not comfortable, you have to do a little bit practice. Then he says هذا, then we have a blank. سمعته في درس اللغة العربية. What goes here? الذي is for singular masculine. الذي is for singular feminine. اللذان is dual masculine. اللتان is the dual feminine. الذين is for plural masculine. And allati is for the plural feminine. Remember, the ismul mawsul always match the word just before it. Usually, ismul mawsul will not have any gap. As soon as you have the word, and it will always match the one next to it. So now, very easy to see what is the number of this word is a singular, and what is the gender is feminine. So then you know which one to pick. So with hada, this is singular masculine. So you'll pick, yes, number one, alladhi. هذا الذي سمعته, and you see this is the who which is connecting, and this تعمل is a here which connects all of these things. Ismul Mawsul, we've been spending a lot of time. It is a little bit tricky, I'll tell you that. But if you don't feel comfortable with Ismul Mawsul, you will have extremely difficult understanding Arabic language. You don't know how often this Ismul Mawsul is used in the Quran, in everything. It's very common. Something that is we have to get comfortable with. Then we have لا يضيع عند الله أجر. Then يحسن عملا. So ضاع يضيع, this is a very good verb. ضاع يضيع is to get lost, to lose something, right? So first of all, when you say a verb, we have to look for its fa'il. Who is the doer? عند الله, at Allah, this is not the doer. This is متعلق. Looks like we have a dhamma here. So ajru. Yes, ajr, ahsant. So ajr is the one is being lost. So it's saying la yadi'u. The reward does not get lost at Allah, with Allah. Then we want to say something. This one is a little bit tricky, honestly. Think about this ajr first. Why it's not ajrun? Hmm? Because this is mudaf. So we want to say the reward of. So reward of what? Yes, reward of someone who, whatever the of, after of, we were looking for someone who is aqil. We're talking about reward of a human being. That's why it needs to be a man here, not ma. Okay, so man. Man yuhsinu amala. So the person who yuhsinu, so the ahsana yuhsinu, it's a singular masculine. So huwa is the pronoun who does good action. Ahsana al-amala, that means he has done good deeds. Now, in terms of from this category, which one will be choosing? We'll choose alladhi. Ajru alladhi yuhsinu amala, or you can say ajru man yuhsinu amala. فهمتم? A little bit tricky, honestly, yes, but you don't know how important this sentence structure is. The book is pretty much telling you that at this point, you should be a little bit comfortable, reading this kind of complex sentence structure. And also, why do we have a fatha here? Because this is the maf'ul bihi of ahsana. Yes, excellent. So here, a very good point. So here, with this ismul mawsul and sila, this whole thing becomes mudaf ilayhi. So this whole sentence is في محل, in the place of مضاف إليه مجرور. Read them again. If you read this sentence few times, hopefully, inshallah, it will settle in your mind. Okay, so with the fourth one, we'll just do maybe one or two, and then we'll move on. And the fourth one, it says najahat, the sukun because of alif lam, we'll say najahati talibatani. Remember, ani, when you say ani of the dual, this is marfu. So if you're looking for your file, you're looking for marfu, the dhamma. So that means you have your file. So najaha. So who passed? Two students, two female students to be precise. And remember what we mentioned, that the number, the number of the verbal, in the verbal sentence, the verb is always mufrad. Although here this is muthanna, which is dual, but the verb is mufrad. But you'll adjust the gender. Okay, you will work with the gender. Gender is the feminine, you can make it feminine. And then he says kanata. So what is kanata? Remember this, I'm telling you, your verb conjugations are so important. So the word is kana. So female of kana is kanat, and this is she, this is he. So how do you say they two for female? So they two for masculine is kana, kana with alif, okay? And they two for feminine is kanata, the one that we have. So they two were ma'ana. This alif is not the dual. This is ma'ana, means with us, fil madrasa, in the school. So now going back, the two students passed. Now we want to who were with us in the school. So what do we put here? Allatani. Yes, excellent. So you put allatani here, not alladhani. Alladhani would be for masculine. Allatani, ahsanti. So this is number 4. Allatani. There's 12. No, Ismul Mausul are not hal. Ismul Mausul are actually sifa. It's not hal. It would be a description. It would be sifa. Be careful with this one. Hadara al-muwaddafani. Okay, and ya'malani. So you'll be using alladhani. Now, then we have at-tadrib al-ashir, the 10th exercise. Akmil al-jumal al-atiya. Complete the following sentences. هذان الطالبان, these two students. You just make something. You make something, but only thing you have to make sure that it agrees with the mubtada. This is mubtada, this is badal, and then we need a khabar. So you can say these two students are new. So if you say new, can you say jadid? هذان الطالبان جديدون. Can we say that? No, we cannot say it because the gender is matching, but our number is not matching. So you say jadidani. So this rule you have to know. When it comes to the main agreement that you need to know from the subject and the mubtada and khabar is the gender, okay, muannath or mudhakkar, and they have to match adad, the number, the singular, dual, and the plural. Mufrad, muthanna, and jam'un. They have to match. Now, and in terms of the definiteness, the default is mubtada is ma'rifa, and the khabar is nakira. Mubtada would be definite, and khabar is indefinite. And that's what we have here. Okay? Hadani is definite, and jadidani is indefinite. Then you have allati tu'iddu at-ta'ama kulla yawm. You can just simply put a pronoun here. Here, you can say hiya allati tu'iddu at-ta'ama kulla yawm. She is the one who prepares the food every day. So remember, we have fatha here because this is maf'ul bihi. Why do we have fatha here? Maf'ul fihi. Excellent. So this is a dharf. This is a dharf. So we have a dharf are always fatha. But to be honest with you, if you go a little bit in details, they will say the dharf was yom, but this kulla is coming as naib. as a replacement because it's describing the dharf. That's why it takes the role of the dharf. The actual maf'ul fihi is yom. It's a little bit advanced, you don't have to know, but just know that this has something to do with a dharf. If you think about a dharf, just think about fatha. Amama, khalfa, fawqa, yawman, usbu'an. Okay? So all of these things comes as a fatha. Now, جيد. So this will be the last uh, tadrib that we'll do today, and then inshallah we will have to leave it for next week. So it says at-tadrib al-hadi ashar. So 11th exercise. It says harakatul asma. Haraka, what is haraka? Haraka is movement. Haraka is movement. This is a plural, haraka with ta marbuta. So harakatul asma. Asma is a plural of ism. So the movement of the nouns. Remember, when you say noun in English, this is not actual translation of the word isim with regards to Arabic when we say from grammatical perspective, because a noun is just a noun. It does not include adjective. But when you say isim in Arabic, it includes adjective, adverbs, nouns, pronouns, relative pronouns, everything. So I'm pretty sure you guys know that already. So here, for the first time, the book is actually talking about i'rab. And the funny thing is the book still does not want to use the word i'rab. That's the strange. When he says harakatul asma, it means the i'rab. I'rab. This is the reason why we study Arabic language. This is the topic, this is the bread and butter of Arabic language. I'rab, which is the movement of the haraka, both for ism and for the fi'l. And the harf, they don't have i'rab, they're mabni. They're not mu'rab, they're mabni. Okay, so the concept of i'rab is pretty big. So what is i'rab? I'rab is the end of a word. Okay, at the end of the word. The beginning or word itself, that study is called sarf. For example, when you say kitab, uh, how do you spell kitabun? Until this part, until this haraka, whether you put a kasra here, fatha here, anything that you do, this is the study of sarf. The word itself is sarf. So, for example, instead of kitab, why don't you say maktub? Maktub, how did you make from the kitab to maktub? And it all came from the word kataba. How did you come from the kataba to kitab to maktub? These are the study of the sarf. And what you put at the end, do you say kataban, kataba, katabi, or what do you say here, kitabun, kitabin, kitaban, and here same thing, the end, that is the study of the nahu, which is the i'rab. Is it clear? And that's why when you read something like that, let's say without haraka, let's say you read without the haraka. Let's say I'm trying to find something that doesn't have any haraka. Let's say we didn't have any haraka here. We didn't have haraka here, haraka here, haraka here. So the Arabs, they would not have a problem with pronouncing these words. Jahazat, bint, they'll say ma'ida. They can read easily, but they will stop short at the ending. Why is that? Because this thing, jahaza, the spelling will never change. If they've studied before, if they've seen this word before, they know how to pronounce it. It will never change. Bint will not be bant, bunt. It will never change. It will always be bint. So when they see it, and the context will tell you, is they know how to pronounce that word. Ma'ida they can pronounce. But they know the end, it could be bintu, it could be binta, it could be binti. Now, this is something that you have to know. This is the grammar. This is you have to know when should I say bintu, when should I say binti, when should I say binta. So if they're not, some of them would be pretty easy. I mean, anyone will understand. If you have a harful jar, you just put a kasra. It's very simple. But sometimes it's not that simple. Okay, sometimes when the sentence gets bigger, then they would not know what to put at the end all the time if they're not paying attention. You understand the point? That's why this is a little bit different study, and this whole concept of Arabic grammar, it revolves around this thing. It revolves around when do you put Dhamma, when do you put Kasra, when do you put Fatha, and what are the different ways of representing Dhamma. For example, we just said, we say Kitab, so you say Kitabun, this is Dhamma. But when you say two books, do we say Kitabanun? No, we say Kitabani. So it's a Kasra. But this one is the same state as this Dhamma. So the grammar will also study about what are the different ways you represent this state of Dhamma, which is called marfu'. Yeah, so they will mostly make this last letter sakina. Yes, that's what they will do. Okay. So this is the official way of the book introducing to you these names that what we've been using since a long time, which is a raf, a nasb, and jar. And what is the difference between and what is the marfu, mansub, and majrur? So in ism, right now it's telling you that it's haraka of al asma. So they're only talking about the i'rab of uh, ism. So the noun, it only has three states. Noun has three states. Okay, the verb also has three states. We're not talking about the verb now, but noun has three states. And how many states harf has? Who can answer that question? How many states the harf, like ila, ala, they have? They have no state. They are only one state, they're mabni. So we don't, whenever we saw mabni, we don't even think in terms of state. We just say it's mabni. Okay, end of story. So when we say state, we mean this word, the kitab, how many ways you can end. We can say kitabun, this is one state. Kitaban, this is another state. And kitabin, this is another state. I wish there was a little bit of space so I can write this. I'll write it here. So you have kitabun, this is one state. Look at the ending only. Kitaban, which is the second state. And we have kitabin, which is the third state. The kitab, the spelling remains as it is, but the ending is keep on changing. And just also note when you have tanween of fatha, usually we put one extra alif. This is convention of writing. It's also when you stop here. If you stop here, do you say kitab here? For here, you can say kitab. Okay, you stop instead of kitabun, you say kitab. Here, you can also, when you stop, you say kitab. But here, you cannot say kitab. It will be kitaba. Yes, the alif has to be prolonged. Okay, فهمتم? So these are something that I'm pretty sure you guys know from Tajweed course. So this state of the Dhamma, the first state that we have with Dhamma, kitabun, this is called the state. The name of the state is Raf. The name of the state. This is a name of state. So what is marfu? Marfu, as you can see, it's coming from the same word. It is telling that the word itself is in that state. So when the word is in the state of raf, then it becomes marfu. If somebody asks you what state is this word, you don't say marfu. This is not in the state of marfu. There's no state called marfu. The state is raf. But then you say this word is marfu. You understand this is different because a lot of people don't understand this different. That's why I'm spending a little bit time. So same thing goes for here. So the state, when we say the fatha state, is the nasb. And if the word is in that state, we say mansub. And the state of the kasra state is jar. And when the word is in that state, we call majrur. Fahimtum? So this word right now, as you see, it is the state of jar, and the word is majrur. Just memorize this word. No excuse now. Raf, nasb, jar, and then marfu, mansub, and majrur. Is it clear? So now what the exercise is trying to tell us is it gives you a sentence, and then we were supposed to find the state of these words. For example, it says it should be kataba, fata fata kataba, Muhammadun ad-darsa. So first of all, this exercise is harakatul asma. Now what they do, Muhammad, what state is in Muhammad right now? If I ask what state of the Muhammad, then you say is the state of Raf. Yes, excellent. And the word Muhammad itself is marfu. And what state is ad-dars? Ad-dars is the state of nasb, and it is mansub. Now, what we also want to do is we want to know why this is in the state of raf and why this is state of nasb. So, what about kataba? What state is the word kataba? Hmm? So the verbs, the default of the verb is their mabni, but the present tense verb is mu'rab, which we'll maybe study later. But this is a past tense. We say mabni. We don't deal with this. But for this exercise, we should not be dealing with the verb anyway. But then Muhammad, so look, he put Muhammad, it is in the state of Raf. He put in this column and this Ismul Marfu. And then Ad-Dars puts on the state of Nasb and it is Ismul Al-Ismul Mansub. Now the question is why? In proper Arabic, when you do Arab, you will say Muhammad Marfu'. Why? Muhammad, this is Fa'il. It is Fa'il, that's why Marfu'. Muhammad Fa'il Marfu'. And then, we were not going to say it properly with alamat rafihi al-dhamma al-zahira. So these are, inshallah, we'll do this one in the Ajurumiyya class. In the Ajurumiyya class, we will focus heavily on Arab. That's the whole book is about. Ajurumiyya and all the grammar books. Honestly, that's the only thing they teach you, how to do Arab. But here, only two things we want to know is what's the state and why is in that state. Even the books right now is not asking about why, but we should know why. So this is in the Muhammad is a state of raf. Why? Because this is file. So that means we have to know that file is always marfu. Okay, the file is always marfu and it's always in the state of raf. So for example, if we were to say instead of Muhammad, we want to say Hamid. Hamid. So do we say Hamidin, Hamidan? No, we say Hamidun. Why? Because this is file. So this is fine. You understand? And ad-dars, it is in the state of nasb. Why? Because it's maf'ul bihi mansub. Yes. Maf'ul bihi is always mansub. So the next one we have ذهب التلميذ إلى المدرسة. So ذهب, we don't deal with this verb. التلميذ, so this is a dhamma here. So this is in the state of raf. So it's marfu. It is fa'al. Is the doer. إلى al-madrasati. So remember what do we do with ila? Huh? What do we say about ila? Ila we don't deal with because ila is mabni. But for this exercise, we don't deal with ila anyway because we're only looking at nouns, ism. Ila is not ism, ila is harf. So now we have a kasra. So what state is this word? Al-madrasa. It is on the state of jar. And yes, the word itself is majrur. And why is it majrur? Because after harful jar we have ism majrur, so it goes into it. So we don't have anything of nasb in this exercise. The third one is أخذ الطالب الكتاب من الموظف. The student took the book from the employee. So أخذ is a verb, is a mabni, and الطالب we have a dhamma. So this is marfu'. It's marfu because why? Because this is fa'al. So now question to you, why is al-kitab? What is the state of al-kitab and why? Yeah, the state is nasab. Excellent. So this is mansub. Why is it a mansub? Hmm? Yeah, it's a maf'ul bihi mansub. Yes, because akhada, the student took. What did he take? He took the book. So the book is the object, and object is maf'ul bihi, and maf'ul bihi is mansub. من الموظف. Why? Because after harful jar is majrur, ismul majrur. So in this exercise, we have all three of them. الطالب, الكتابة, الموظف. Excellent, excellent exercise. And what I will suggest that at least do 5. That's the minimum. More you do it, better it is.